was working in the Ford garage. That was where I was making my money. I was a foreman in the Ford garage there at Fillmore. And I went to Santa Paula and started learning to fly. And then I heard that there was Air Force was starting a training program over at Oxnard. And I went so I went over there. And they said, "Have you got an A&P license?" I said, "No." Well, they was looking for A&Ps, license there. So but I said, "I'm going to night school to try to get one." So he says, "Well, I can't hire you here, but you go down to Engledow and talk to Chief Kidder and tell him what you do." So I told the garage I'm going to take a day off. So I went down there and I talked to Chief Kidder, and he asked me a bunch of questions. And he said, "Well, you can go to work tomorrow night." So I can't do that. I can't quit these people I'm working at. I can't quit them because without a notice. So I worked 6 months at the Ford garage as a foreman, and 6 months at the airport too. Daytime for the garage and at night at the airport. And then Pearl Harbor hit. I was working at the airport on Pearl Harbor hit. So I quit the garage and I stayed there. The name of the outfit was Calero. They was a contract for the Air Force to train primary pilots in PT-13s. And so then at Pearl Harbor, they announced one day that Pearl Harbor had been attacked. We said, "Well, we didn't believe that could happen," but it wasn't an hour or two we found out it was a fact. So I stayed there about 2 years, and then one night I was on the night shift there once, and a BT-13 flew in there, and they came in there, and we was eating our lunch, and we asked them where they're from. They said, "Well, they're starting a new airfield over here by Bakersfield called Gardner Field." So, and he said they're looking for mechanics. So 3 of us there thought, well, that might be a good place to get in. So we waited a couple of days, and when we got off one morning, we headed for Bakersfield. We went over there, and we all 3 got supervisor's jobs. Right, and that was working directly for the Air Force. The other was civilian contractor. So we got right in on the ground floor there. Stayed there all during the war. But I was the only one of the 3 that stayed. The rest of them, one of them joined the Air Force, and the other one, his wife wouldn't move up in that desert country, so he quit and went back to work where he was at before. But I stayed there all during the war till all the one interesting thing that happened while I was there. We modified some B-25s, and we thought it was just a regular day's work. We took all the guns off, all the armament off, all the de-icing equipment, all that stuff off, and modified the props. And we did 8 of them, and they went on, and it wasn't but about, I guess it was less than a month, they called us in and said the B-25s that just bombed Tokyo were the B-25s that we run through here. So there was 16 of them went on that raid, and we did 8 of them right there in the 305th sub-depot. I was a foreman on that job. I got to ride in one of them around the pattern.